Mm.
Caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The Caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the Caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the Caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the Caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he spin up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I am your host, Michael Calderese, and good Lord, do we have an eventful weekend? Do we have an eventful, turn of events for you guys? In today's episode, it's one of these episodes that I loathe. I loathe doing, honestly, because it's one of these episodes that I try to bring happiness a lot of the times. I try to bring fun and excitement and all this stuff. And, it seems like we're surrounded by hate. We're surrounded by hate on a daily basis. And we're surrounded by the hate that I think is manufactured. And I hate to, I hate to talk like it. What I try to do, as every one of you guys are aware of, is I try to tell you the truth, regardless of whether it's couth or not, whether it's time or not, whether, any of these situations. I try to tell you what I think and what I see, how I read certain situations, and a lot of those times when I tell you those things, I come off as a certain type of way, but you know me, I don't give a shit. And today's episode is one of those that I don't love doing, because it's exposing hate, and it's talking about people and death, and it's you're in a shit situation no matter what you do. So I might as well just come out raw and hard, because you know what? The Caltrop is your defense mechanism from what I'm seeing. The Caltrop is your defense mechanism from what you've been showed. And what you're being shown and what you're being seen on repeat right now is what I've seen with every other psychological operation that's been taking place throughout all the times that me and you have been talking about. Now, I'm not the big, this is a psyop, that's a psyop type guy, until it's thrown in your face really, really, really hard all day long. And listen, there's a lot to talk about, honestly, right? So we have some stuff that I didn't get to last week that I really wanted to get to on Friday. I was just done last week. I apologize. Working at 32 degrees it takes a lot out of you. And then with obviously losing my dog Moose, and we were talking about him a little bit at the very end of the show. It was just a lot. So we do have, there's a lot on the show. We have Trump's drilling pan. We have next year's tax returns. I still haven't got to Tim Walz being a retard, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I had this great comment from Odell Beckham, really thought-provoking. There was a lot of things we could get to. But of course, what do we have? We have Australia, we have Brown, we have ISIS attacks. We have Rob Reiner and Trump's comments that, this is all day. You guys have been inundated with this stuff, and it's tough not to give my opinion on it. So let's start the show off properly with the mics right. Shut the fuck up and listen. And I'm going to start it off like this. I fucking hate you. All right, I really don't hate you, but let's talk about hate, because apparently as humans, We haven't solved anything but how to hate. That we're pretty good at. Hate, yes, that one is thriving. That thing's got better job security than a government contractor. It's here and it's growing and it's renewable. And everyone says they're against hate. Meanwhile, they're hating people by category, by headline, and by hashtag before breakfast. So I thought it'd be interesting to explore why humans hate. To me, first off, fear. I think fear of the unknown, fear of the different, fear of losing control, and fear of someone else is getting something that you're not, which is what really most Americans fear most of all. People don't hate what they understand. They hate what they don't understand. Or worse, what they're told not to understand. That's key. And that brings me to the second reason, learned behavior. People definitely hate from learned behavior. Nobody just pops out of the womb like, whoa, milk, diaper, also fuck that group of people. No, hate is a learned, then taught response. Sometimes by the parents, sometimes by culture, sometimes by religion, sometimes by politicians who smile real hard while lighting the hate fuse. And let's be honest, hate to me is everywhere, but certain groups definitely get it worse than others, depending on what year it is and who's in power. And that's where it gets a little bit uncomfortable, because I think humans are designed this way. You tell me. I think hate is baked into us. It's like an instinct, like territorial behavior or tribalism. And religion, to me, religion was supposed to control that instinct, right? But instead, what has it done? It's really mostly repackaged hate with better branding. Oh no, I don't hate you. God told me to hate you. I'm just the messenger. That's elite level outsourcing right there, ChatGPT style. And here's the real mind bender. Without hate, can love even exist? I mean, think about it. How do we define love if there's nothing to contrast it against like hate? And what is hate anyway? Because today, truth is considered hate, disagreement's considered hate, silence is hate, asking questions super hate, or as the Grinch said, hate, 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 loathe entirely. Meanwhile, actual hatred gets justified with phrases like, they deserved it. It's different when we do it. It's for the greater good, or my personal favorite, well, they hate me. Everyone thinks that their brand of hate is justified. Some people hate because they were hated first. Some hate because it gives them purpose. Some hate because it gives them identity. When they don't have one? And a lot of people claim that they follow God while hating damn near everyone God supposedly created. But I digress from that because I'm the asshole who points this out. Now, here's the thing people don't want to admit. Most humans today are actually pretty peaceful. Seriously, we're the most peaceful we've ever been. Most people just want to be left alone, pay their bills, and not get dragged into someone else's psychotic crusade. Throughout history, it's usually been maniac leaders starting fights and good people being forced to finish them. That's the part nobody likes to talk about, because war doesn't turn bad people evil. It forces good people to do evil things in the name of that maniac. So is that hate, or is that just survival? Because today feels no different. I watch people loudly condemn hate while lumping entire groups of humans into one label based on their own hate and bias. And everyone's convinced that they're the moral ones. Which brings me to the impossible question. Is justified hate still evil? Good luck answering that one without pissing somebody off. Because hate to me, once again, is subjective, like everything else I say is. And now we've added a fun new layer. Approved hate and unapproved hate. That one is awesome because there's tiers now. Right now, Fox News all day was screaming nonstop about anti-Semitic hate, which is fine. But where's the outrage over Christian hate? Where's the coverage there? Oh, I guess there's no catchy name for that, is there? Hate against white people? Totally fine. White men? Fuck, that's suggested. But hate against Jewish white people? Whoa, 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 time out. We don't tolerate anti-Semitic hate. That has to be stopped. You see how that works? It's not about really stopping hate. It's about controlling which hate is acceptable. Government-approved hate, media-approved hate, sponsor-safe hatred. And then there's the wildest part of all of it. Some groups manufacture hate against themselves. all to capitalize it, and you know it takes place. That's the real awesome part of this. Victimhood has become a currency. So how hard is it to create hate? That was a question. Honestly, it's not hard at all. You need a scary headline, check. A cherry-picked story, check. A few anonymous sources, check. And an audience already pissed off about something else. Boom. You have manufactured hate and done it very easily. Fool the masses into hating each other, and suddenly your agenda slides right through while everybody's too busy fighting and hating the other person. And that's all I see is false flags everywhere. And every one of them just fuels more hate, which fuels more power, which fuels more division. So what's the solution? More hate? Hey, we tried that for 2,000, 3,000 years. Didn't work. Fight hate with love. I mean, that sounds great until the loving people get steamrolled by the hateful ones. So what's left? I'll be honest, I don't have an answer to this question. But maybe it starts here, like I say a lot. How about we look in the mirror? Do you condemn hate while practicing it? Do you instantly hate people who think differently than you? Do you enjoy hating the right people because it makes you feel moral? Because they, of course, hate you first. Because I think that's most of us. Maybe humans need chaos. Maybe hate is just instinct wearing a suit. And maybe the only real solution is to stop believing every false flag thrown in front of us. So where to get to that? Because when I see the same hateful patterns repeating for 2,000 years, I stop believing we're evolving. And I start believing that we're just getting better Wi-Fi. Because if hate creates hate, how does it ever end? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it ends when everyone's gone. Maybe it ends after we've all killed each other off completely. No people, no hate, no wars. There you go. Problem solved. That's Mike's right. Hope you fucking listen. All right. So as you can tell, man, you know, I hate doing these. I really hate doing these. I want to be happy. I want love. I want peace. And you know, when I make these posts online, I get so much hate thrown at me. It's awesome. When I'm the one just pointing out, like, what's the solution here? Religions fighting each other? Has that solved anything? Because that's where we're going. Is that going anywhere? No. Is believing in these bullshit false flags events, is that going to help us out? Definitely not. Definitely not. And I'm going to tell you something right now. We're to get into Australia. People obviously got killed. Now, I wasn't there. I didn't see it happen. I think there's enough video on there, and I think people always get killed in these type of false flags events. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the response. People need to die here. You have to. People have to die in order to generate a hateful response against whoever. And I get it. Listen, there are ideologies that it's very easy to blame hate on because they are hateful ideologies. I want to start this off right here, right now, to every single one of you people who have today accused me of being an Islam lover. It's hysterical. I'm a lover of everything if I just speak, honestly. That religion out of all of them has way more hateful, radical rhetoric than the others do. Way more hateful, radical rhetoric. But I say this all the time. It's steeped in the exact same fucking books, the exact same tradition. It's all Arabic religions. They all came from the same damn spot. But I am not defending any religion here. What I'm saying is, what I have noticed is people condemning hate because others are hateful or create hateful acts. And take it a step further because you have people that are condemning hate based off the actions of two people. Because two people did something, or 15 people did something during 9/11, or 130 people did something during October 7th. That means every piece of shit in an area is a piece of shit terrorist. All 1.8 billion Muslims are terrorists because of them. That their religion is 100% the problem because of a couple maniacs. When at the same time we overlook Christian maniacs, everyone says, oh, where's Christian evil? Well, I got news for everybody. Russia's a Christian fucking nation, isn't it? America's a Christian nation. We've done some horrible things over the years through Christian leaders who claimed God was leading them. And this isn't where I wanted to go with this, because I don't think what we're watching is religious based. I think religion is the mechanism that gets it in front of you and gets you riled up and gets you to hate. That's just the vehicle that they use. It's always been a vehicle to control people. And I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, but I have to get this out of my system. Religion's the vehicle. And let's talk about Sydney for a second, because I'm telling you, there's false flags all over this. All over this. Let's just start here. I've heard nothing but anti-Semitic. I mentioned it in the Mike's right. It's a snow day today, so I was home. I'm preparing for the show. I'm turning on different news sources, and I do like watching the Morning Fox and Friends. And anti-Semitism was literally said over 100 times an hour. Anti-Semitism. It was atrocious. And what they're doing is they're gearing everybody up to be okay with whatever happens next. Okay? Because somehow an attack in Australia is going to give America and Israel the right to bomb whoever the fuck we want to bomb now. Because, of course, ISIS reared his ugly head as well. So now ISIS kills Americans. You have that attack in Australia. Somehow tougher gun laws are the answer. We're going to get to that. But the answer is going to be responding with more death, more violence, stuff that we have been doing for 25 straight years of my life now. And when I say these are false flags, this is clearly a false flag. I knew this in fucking 2 hours after this event happened. And this is how I knew it. And this is where things just start bubbling up where like, this doesn't make any sense. And listen, it starts with an innocent post like this. October 7th, survivor wounded in Bondi Beach shooting after warning about surging Australian anti-Semitism. Now, there have been a lot of anti-Semitic attacks in Australia. I think everyone definitely needs to take a step back. This is why I did the hate segment and wonder, where does the hate for the one group come from? Is it just everybody else is the asshole, or does a group have to realize that people may hate them for a reason? I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just kind of tossing that out there because I think, once again, we spoke about justified hate, right? But I see this October 7th survivor. Then, not, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes later, I see this one. Holocaust survivor killed while shielding wife from Bondi Beach terror attack. So what this news source is trying to tell me, and I believe they're the same one, it's a New York Post, and it's the New York Post. This is somewhat of a conservative outlet, right? So there was an October 7th survivor in Australia and a Holocaust survivor in Australia at the same exact time. Both wore bullets. One survived. This guy happened to survive. Of course, his first instinct was to lay there bleeding after being shot in the head and take selfies of himself. But there's an October 7th survivor and there's a Holocaust survivor who died shielding his wife. Now, if these were real stories, this is amazing. If this actually took place, that would be such an amazing turn of events. But what I have to ask this question, everybody. What is the probability of that happening versus the probability of that being a bullshit story? Because we have to look at this in real ways. We can't just accept it. Because when we accept it, we're going to accept the emotions that come with it. I have to take my emotional side out of this. If you were a betting man, and this is on, Polytrack or whatever the hell that thing is, okay? And I said, what's more likely? That these two people happen to be in Sydney during a once-in-a-generation shooting there. Last one was, what, 1997? Both of those people would be in that spot. Both wear bullets. Or it's a bullshit story. What's more likely? The bullshit story is way more likely. The manufactured outrage, the manufactured story is the way more likely scenario, the case, period. You can't argue it. You cannot say anything against that. And just to kind of toss this out here, I said, ChatGPT, or it was Google. Sometimes I like seeing what's Google's take on this, because they're going to come at it from a very skewed point of view. So I said, Google, yo, bro, what's the probability of an October 7th survivor just being there? I didn't even say taking bullets. What's the probability of both of those people being there during those attacks? Okay, and this is their answer. Calculating the precise probability of such an extreme, specific, tragic event, a Holocaust survivor and someone there on October 7th commemorating being shot together in Australia, is statistically impossible, but it represents an astronomically low chance combining rare demographics with highly improbable targeted attack scenario in that place. And then it goes on to say this. In essence, while theoretically not zero, anything can happen. The chances, though, are so infinitesimally small. I could barely even say that word. Infinitesimally small. They approach zero in practical terms, make it an incredibly rare intersection of unlikely factors. So that was my first take on this, where when I start seeing, when I start seeing when I start seeing these type of posts, that one and this one, I go, okay, that to me is it gets my head going. Okay, it gets my head going. That's all I'm going to say. Then I see this. There's a hero, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, something like that. I believe he was a Syrian Muslim. Some say he was a Christian converted, and there's conflicting stories, but the majority of what I hear is there is a Muslim hero in this entire thing. Now, I'm going to play these videos back to back. Viewer discretion is somewhat advised, but I'm sure you've already seen this 900 times on your Instagram feed. This is the hero acting the way he did.
Oh! C'est malade. Oh non, gros! Oh! Ouais, mais il y a ses potes, il va se faire tirer dessus. Il est trop con, le mec qui a l'arme.
Okay, so that was that. Now, what did you notice? You saw, first off, the fact that Australia's got such ridiculously tight gun laws, we're going to get to them in a second. The fact that they have that type of gun laws and the guy couldn't just shoot him from behind and just take him out and eliminate the subject, we're going to get to that in a little bit. That's a little bit ridiculous. But the fact that this guy had to go, risk himself, throwing himself, I mean, who does this? Who fucking does it? But then what did you see? He takes the gun from him, doesn't keep him there, and lets him go, which brings us to this next one. And this is the ultimate demise of these shooters. This is 2 minutes long. Again, it's graphic.
Fucking die, cunt! Die!
I'll fucking kill you!
Fuck yeah! Yeah, they got him.
Hey, he's hit! He's hit! He's hit! Please help me! He's hit! He's hit! He's hit!
Fucking bash him!
I told you it was graphic, and I apologize for showing that. But what did you see there? You saw the same fucking guy with more weapons. And that had to be after the fact, after he was already disarmed. You saw him there with 2 more weapons shooting. So I have a problem when I see this type of stuff. And then, again, I start looking at all that. So, you look at the guy who took the gun from him. You look at that video. He's holding the gun up like this, using this arm. He doesn't look like anything got discharged. None of that stuff. But this guy is in the hospital, and this is him. Apparently, got gunshot wounds to his arm. I didn't see it happen. Maybe it did. And I got to tell you something. That guy's name should be posted. If that really did happen, it wasn't a show. That guy's a boss. But I find it hard to believe that you have the balls to take the weapon from him, but you don't have the balls to light him up. You have the balls to take the weapon from him, but not keep him there, not shoot him in the leg. You let him go on to keep shooting, and then what did you see? You always hear this. This is the shit that drives me crazy. One of the guys was on the radar of the Australian intelligence agency, but he was deemed not a threat. And gun control is the problem. But what you see all the time with this type of stuff is these maniacs, they go full maniac. They're known to the people. They're known to the government. And then you have that media response to it. And when you have all of those things that are lined up in such a direction, in such a way, where you have, this is a movie script. You have 2 assassins. One died, one lived. There's a fucking hero. There's a Holocaust survivor. There's a January or October 7th survivor. One dead, one alive, one bleeding with pictures. How could I not think that this is all a bullshit script? And the thing that I see that takes place all the time is real people died, and then everyone rushes to a side. And then if I'm not here motherfucking somebody else, taking a side with somebody, I become the focus of hate. And everybody that's running around condemning hate are just a part of the entire hate cycle. And I'm struggling to understand how it works. And I get it. Listen, there's a lot of hateful ass, evil pieces of shit in the world. There's tons of them. Our world is full with pieces of shit because our world is full of a lot of people. The majority of the people that are driving cars on the road are obeying the laws and not cutting you off. The one jerk off that cuts you off, everybody sucks at driving. That mentality has got to stop. That mentality is going to get us in no other solution Then to just keep fucking each other up, just keep fighting each other. Is this really what we evolved to? Is this really the best we could come up with? We're in 2025 and we can't figure out how not to hate each other through our gods. And the only thing that Christians can react to is now become evil in their own right to fight this type of evil. This makes sense morally, culturally, religiously. This is the shit we're talking about. I can't take it. And then you have these assholes. Listen to this. This is their solution. This is how you know that none of these people are serious. This is how you know that this situation is a story. Because this is the response from the Australian Prime Minister.
The government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws. Tougher gun laws including limits on the number of guns that can be used or licensed by individuals. If we need to toughen these up, if there's anything we can do, I'm certainly up for it, and I hope to get National Cabinet on board for that.
If there's anything we could do, just toughen up our gun laws. I mixed like Southern and English. That was not Australian at all. But the gun laws are the problem in Australia. Not the fact that you let these Muslims in your country. The Muslims are so bad, everybody. This is the argument you're telling me. The Muslims are so horrible, and we have to fight them, and we have to stop radical Islam, and we have to do it. It's so horrible that we have to let these people in our country and give them weapons. Australia, you gave them legal weapons to kill you with while they were on a watch list. What gun law is going to stop your dumb ass from giving people like them weapons? You gave them the weapon. Your gun laws mean nothing. Because I thought in your gun laws, you already said, we're not going to give them to lunatics. How about this? Let's go through Aussie gun laws. How about this? Ready? Australian gun laws are strict. Australian gun laws are the liberal wet dream of gun laws. The liberals in America literally beat off like it's Australian porn. It's gun law porn to these people. This is everything. Australia has everything that these liberals in America want. They are very strict, requiring license. Genuine reasons you have to have, like farming and sport, but certainly not self-defense. They need background checks, safety training, and registration on all firearms stemming from the 1966 firearms agreement that banned most semi-automatic weapons. Laws vary slightly by state and territory. Okay, let's go through a couple of these just so you can see the gravity of what the gun laws already are. And that's that guy's solution. The solution's not, hey, let's not let these people in. The solution's not any of those things. The solution is gun laws and let's fight terrorism. But you armed terrorism. So why don't you make a law against yourself? Matter of fact, that would be the only law that makes any sense, is a law against you politicians being morons. Who gave that guy the approval for the guns? Who gave it to him? That guy should be arrested and held accountable for every single life that happened afterwards. If you want me to be a real dick, I would really question the so-called hero on any life that white pant guy took after he let him go. Some accountability here for the people that put these people in a position. But no, the accountability is not going to be with them. It's going to be on gun laws. This is how you know what they're telling you is fake. Because if this was a real event where these people cared about it, because yes, it was a real event, but you could tell they don't even give a shit about the people that died. They're pretending. You have to be pretending if this is the best that you have, is our gun laws. Genuine reason, you must prove a legitimate need. Okay, licensing mandatory for all firearms with a 28-day waiting period. Oh, dude, I'm talking. I'm going to be talking really like deep. I should get my voice deep for the liberals that are watching. Yeah, you fucking just turned you on, doesn't it? Background checks, baby. Yeah, you love them background checks. Extensive checks on criminal history, mental health, and domestic violence records. How good was the background check on that Muslim shooter that we just had? You gave him the weapon. Registration. All firearms must be individually registered to the owner through the government. How do you like that, liberals? You love it, don't you? Yeah. Get in there all fucking deep like. They have bans. Automatic and most semi-automatic rifles and shotgun are banned. There you go. Storage. Strict storage requirements. Yeah, you have to have that bitch locked up in the safe with a triple lock on it and a key, and you need a fingerprint, and you got to put a nipple on it. That's the only way this thing's going to open for you. And you cannot use it if someone's trying to kill you. Remember that in Australia. Yeah, you liberals love that shit, don't you? And ammunition. A separate license / permit is needed to possess ammunition. Again, people, the Muslims that shot everybody that everyone wants to hate right now, we're all pointing our finger at all the Muslims who armed them with weapons and ammo. I'm going to wait for a response. Please put it in the chat. And finally, here's the last one on it. The 1996 firearm agreement also included a large mandatory buyback where they destroyed over 6,500 or 650,000 banned firearms, established core principles, licensing, registration, genuine reasons, and banning certain weapons. And what has happened? Their gun violence has gone down, of course, right? But their actual violent crime hasn't gone down. That's number one. And the result of this is you had not only people running for their lives, but you had cops. This was the most disgusting part of this entire thing, is you had officers. Where is this? Here, there we go. You had officers with their hands up and witnesses. This witness said, that witness right there, it said, Bondi Beach terrorist survivor describes how cops froze during 20-minute shooting rampage. I don't understand why. I'll tell you why. Because these people don't want to die. Imagine being a Bricktown police officer and you're making $165,000 a year as a patrolman, or you're some what's a sergeant that's over 200. Some are 230, 240. You want to get in a gunfight? Is that what you're trying to do? No, you're trying to go home. But what does it tell you? You can't rely on the cops. What did Australians do? The best Australian you had was the Ahmed, who's not even Australian. He's a Syrian who went running up and disarmed a guy with his hands. You had cops freezing, and you didn't have one person with a weapon that could take these people out. They shot for 20 plus minutes. And the best these people could come up with is tougher gun laws, where you have the toughest gun laws in the world. They're not serious. And when these people that are in charge of this are not being serious, I can't take them serious, and I can't take the event serious, unfortunately. And the most disgusting part about this is these motherfuckers are putting me in the position where I have to disregard real human death to call these pieces of shits out for whatever they're trying to pull. And I'm sorry to say it, but you know what this is going to result in. We had Lindsey Graham come out the other day talking about how he knows it's Hamas and they need to just finish them off now and then go on to ISIS. And he's like naming a list of motherfuckers that he wants to bomb out of existence. I will remind everybody that he was there through most of Iraq, Afghanistan, and all the rest of them. I don't see real solutions coming out of these people. And I see nobody trying to understand, why are they hated in the first place? Everyone wants to claim to stop hate, but nobody understands why hate. And you're not going to stop it if you don't understand the why. The only thing that you're going to do is create more of it. It's if we haven't learned anything in schools, this anti-bullying campaign has created more bullies, and it's created online bullies, and all they did was outsource their bullying. Now we have AI, ChatGPT, helping bullies be bullies. Hey, how could I really call this bitch a cunt? Oh, say it like this. Perfectly said. It hasn't stopped bullying. Why? Because it immediately doesn't give everybody inclusion. It excludes everybody. You put people in boxes. And when you do that, people see that others get special privilege, and it creates resentment. All of this is completely 100% ass backwards. And I just went off on a rip. Let me try to get to the chat. I apologize. By the way, finger the fuck out of my like button. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, that's cool. I want you to hammer me. If you don't like my thought process on this, and you think that an October 7th survivor and a Holocaust survivor was simultaneously in another shooting, and that's more probable than it's a staged event, I really don't know what to tell you. Yankee 68 always the first in the chat. They start going. Jersey Abe, let's go, black boy. I'm black. Let's see. Jay Calloway, we're going probably way back. Yes. The hate is manufactured. The politicians and the media have successfully divided us and removed all civility in this country. No one cares for anyone but themselves. That is exactly well said. And I'm going to add to that, Jay Calda. We don't care for anybody but ourselves, but our pretend selves care about everybody. And we have to make it seem to everybody that we care about them. But secretly, we don't give a shit. Hate is no doubt about it. Hate is the root of all evil. Yes, hate, yes, because evil and hate obviously go hand in hand. Good and love, obviously go hand in hand. It's once again, they're polar opposites, right? They're yin and yang. There's equal and opposite reaction. It's everything that we talk about physically, emotionally, everything. It's everything we're made of. It's awesome. Jay Callis says, Islam has earned the hate because their radicals have killed a lot of people because their religion advocates killing non-Muslims. And that is 100% accurate. That is, and they have a lot of them. And because there's a lot of them, and because they actually have a very high rate of radicals in their society, right? If you some put it as high as 30%. If it's 30%, that's like 600,000 people, or 600 million people that would want to kill you. I think if it was really that high, there'd be a hell of a lot more violence in the country. Like, that's the only thing that throws that off with me, because I get it. There are very violent countries, but you have very peaceful Muslim countries as well. So it's tough to paint it all with that brush. But yes, there are a lot of radicals. Yes, they 100%, the radical element of that wants to kill anybody that doesn't think that they're away. They think they're doing it through God. 100% accurate. So why wouldn't I want more of that if I had something to gain off of more of that happening? We're just going to toss that one out there, right? Because, I can make the argument that Israel has gained a lot since October 7th. Is that such a ridiculous assertion that they really have gained a lot through October 7th? And in 20, 30 years, when they're completely taken over the Gaza Strip, and that part, all the things that are rubble now, when they rebuild it and completely take it over, would the people who did this and killed everybody say, you know what, October 7th was worth it? I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you think they think that way? I don't know. Yankee 68 says, who is the common denominator? Just saying. So again, I say the common denominator is, I think there's multiple common denominators. I think there's powerful people as the common denominator, Yankee. I do think the Muslim religion is the mechanism to which these people do it. And I do think the Jewish religion is the ones that use the Muslim religion to their advantage, and they like stoking the hate. I think Jews have learned how to thrive off of their hate. They have. We know they have. And it's I give it to them. That's how they adapted to the Holocaust. Awesome. It was a great adaptation. But don't get mad at me when I pointed out that three groups are the problem. But once again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm defending Islam. I certainly am not. Don't apologize for showing reality. People need to stop being so sensitive in tough situations. Fuck yeah, I'm sorry if I apologized. And I'm sorry for just apologizing. Fuck! Jay Callis says, yep, he had 6 guns. The guy cannot shoot the animal because he would have been arrested and put in prison because of the anti-gun laws in Australia. And there you go, in a nutshell. Isn't that amazing? How about that? Like, that guy is the hero, takes his gun, shoots him. But because the gun laws are so pussified in Australia, that gunman knew that he could just get up with more weapons on him and just go continue and shooting. He went up to his dad. He was like, yo, bro, give me your gun. I need some. All right, here's another one. We have fucking, how many of them on us? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Idiot criminals don't care about your stupid laws. No, they don't. He said, we already do background checks here. 100% we do background checks here. I don't know where anybody does. Anybody brings that up. Understand governments do not want armed citizens because unarmed citizens cannot fight a tyrannical government, and they cannot fight all these false flags events. All they are victims in these type of events, all right? And can you have a slang shot in Australia? I don't know. I think you can have a slang shot. It just has to be one of them government-approved slang shots. Yeah, that's that's it. All right, let's see. We have a couple of comments on our YouTube feed. Let's see. Yo, PT Pod. What's up, PT Pod? He had 2 shows today. Check him out on PT Pod. And yeah, we have a couple. The hate is manufactured for sure. The politicians, the media have successfully removed civility. Oh yeah, so that's one of the same comments from the other one. But listen, I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. I have a lot of people mad at me because they're like, Christians are the best, man. I swear, Christians, we're the best group, and fuck these Muslims and the Jews. We have to love the Jews because they our religions are all this horseshit. I don't care about it. I'm going to deliver this in a way where I'm trying to find the end game to all of this. Okay, I'm trying to find the solutions. And what are the solutions to this? The way I see it is, you have like 2 groups of people. You have religious and non-religious. The non-religious are just there. Okay, they don't seem to be feuding with any other groups besides racial people. Right? We have our own racial wars going on and all that stuff. But then you have the religious groups, and the religious groups are really big chunks of people, and they influence their governments to fight. So when you look at it, what are the solutions to peace and not to evil and to war? Because war and all that stuff, whether, I say it all the time, Christians eventually have to get up and start fighting back. They have to. And that's going to push the peaceful people into doing non-peaceful things. So what are the solutions? You have one religion wins. If everybody's one religion, then everybody's the same. It's monolithic. And one religion wins. And everybody is fooling themselves if they didn't believe that every one of their religions is preferred. So whose religion do you choose? Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Christianity? One has to be there. I happen to think Christianity makes the most sense because it seems like it is the most peaceful. But whose do you pick? So that's a tough solution. That solution doesn't seem like it's going to work. Number two, we all just keep fighting until nobody's around. I don't see how that's going to work. But like I said, in the Mike's right, if we were all dead, we wouldn't have this problem. Or no, what is it? What are some more solutions? You have three. I guess you could say. See, I mean, this is what it is. It's very difficult to think of solutions to this problem, to the religion problem, or you get rid of all the religions. Are the non-religious, I think what we have to think about this is, are the non-religious creating more problems than the religious? Or vice versa, or committing more crimes or less crimes? I think we have to start looking into these things in like a real way. Because one religion can't win, and we can't keep fighting. So getting rid of all religion, that may not work either, but I'm just saying this is where I come from with this stuff. I'm just trying to deliver clear thought and clear, where's the end game with all of this stuff? That's all I'm trying to do. And I went way, way long with that one. Let's get to a couple really quick things. All right. We had Rob Reiner die. Where is it? This is Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner died. It says, remembering Rob and Michelle Reiner. Now, apparently, and I'm going to go a little bit overboard. I gypped you out of a Friday, so let's go a little bit long here tonight. Apparently, their son, Rob Reiner, or Nick, is in custody after the horrifying murder of these two people. Apparently, the son, some reported he was trans, some reported he was troubled. I'm not going to sit here and tell you any of those things. I'm not going to say anything definitively. Besides this, I think you can see killer eyes in that fucking guy, right? I mean, he looks like he could slice someone's throat, and apparently that's what he did. Apparently it was a gruesome scene. They had an argument or something, and then he cut his throat. And then that's where it kind of gets interesting. And this is where I don't know how you feel about this, but this is what Trump put out, and I apologize for how small this is. He said a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and inaccurate affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald Trump. With his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and the expectations of greatness, you got to throw that plug in there, Trump, right? And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. So he starts it off good, ends it good, motherfucks them throughout the entire thing, while putting some, hey, the economy is the greatest it's ever been. Tariffs are making so much tariff money. And people are losing their shit over this. You're such a horrible human being. This is why Trump is so disgusting, because he says stuff like this and blah, 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 blah. Before I even say it, I want to give you what Trump said about this. Where is it? Do I have it in here? Trump on ISIS? Yeah, here it is. Trump on Reiner.
A number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. It was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
I'm going to tell you something. Cal Race approves this message. I do not believe, and listen, the circumstances in his death are horrific. But does that mean that now Trump just has to love this guy all of a sudden and he has to post something about his death? Now, listen, I come from this field, right? Sometimes I wish Trump just wouldn't. I think that's something that didn't need to be done. I think that's something that didn't need to be said from my point of view. But now I sit back and go, let's get in Trump's mind frame. Okay, this is a guy, Rob Reiner, who has called Trump everything, including a pedophile, including Hitler, including Nazis. This is a guy who accuses kids of doing all types of things. Rob Reiner and people like him have said the most vile, disgusting, horrible garbage about Trump. So why should Trump give a shit about this guy's death when he was killed by his own kid? And if we're being honest with each other, Trump obviously had a score to settle with the guy. And he had to get his last digs in. That's how much this guy, he hates him. And I personally appreciate, I loathe when we have disliked people for our entire lives. And now all of a sudden they die. And now all of a sudden they become the greatest person on the planet who's going to be missed. When everybody hated their piece of shit ass when they were alive. Now, I don't know anything about Rob Reiner. It's a, you know, to me, I wouldn't have put that out there if I was Trump. But the circumstances of him, of his demise, are horrible. And, you know, what have you done? I will say this. I think we have to analyze the circumstances around their death. What happened to where a kid that grew up with everything, and I think this is a legit question, a kid who grew up with everything, with all the money in the world, all the benefits, all the white privilege that you could ever possibly want. Why did he go crazy and split and do that to his parents? What did the parents do? I think is a something that needs to be examined. And then what was going on with this kid? You know, what happened in his life? I think, you know, that type of stuff, if we're going to understand how these things actually happen and why they happen, we have to ask these hard, tough questions. And you have to ask them, unfortunately, in this day and age, while I'm talking about it. You know, and that's when it's going to be, that's when it's going to be there. What else do I have here? We are 8:58. Do I have anything? Oh, and this is the last thing. I love when this happens, right? If you didn't know, sorry, put that up a little early. The Epstein list, you know, the Democrats really are coming out with their best stuff. They came out with this picture. They made it a big deal. Oh, this is Trump with a bunch of underage girls. And, you know, it took the internet about 12 seconds to find this picture. And they're all, first off, they're all smoke shows, okay? They're all smoke shows, and they all look like they are above 18. Let's start for the brown hair. Yep, I would say somewhere in the 24 range. Dude, the hot blonde right next to her, every bit of 25. The one right there with Trump, I'm going to say she's 27. The girl with her head on Trump, that's 31. Right next to her to the right, we're getting younger. That's 29. And then the one right there all the way to the right, she looks the youngest. She can borderline be 19. I'm going to toss that out there. I don't think that was what you guys thought it was. And here's the last thing that I'm going to bring to you guys. Again, I'm sorry. Sorry I put that up early. When I say I feel like everything's kayfabe and I feel like everything is a show and I feel like it's all TV and this is all for clicks and all this stuff, and it brings me to this. Erica Kirk posted this. Candace and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Real Candace Owens have agreed that we'd have a private discussion. Live streams and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. Now, this is the day I believe that TPUSA challenged Candace to come in person and debate this. Candace said no, she couldn't because she had family obligations, but now today could change those family obligations to meet Erica Kirk. And it's all out there. It's all out there. And both groups of people, while condemning the other one for making money, have made a lot of money on this. And I bet when we come out of it, it's going to be it's going to be probably like agree to disagree, but we will, I understand where they're coming from. And then Candace is going to adjust a little bit. Then Erica is going to continue to do. They're both going to adjust for a week, and then they're going to go back to doing what the hell they're going to be doing. And I think Candace would be idiotic to stop talking about it because she's getting everybody watching her for it. But again, this is WWE. This is kayfabe. This is all psychological operations to keep you engaged. I'm telling you, like I am becoming one of those people where I see it all the time. It's like glaring in my face. Maybe I need you to put me in check to keep me from seeing stuff that I think I'm seeing, but I don't think I'm wrong with any of this stuff. And I guess I'll show you this one too. This is fucking awesome. I love this tweet. Amazing tweet. So sad, so true. One of these men was banned from Australia. The guy to the left was let in and let have weapons. The guy to the right is a Novak Djokovic, I believe is how you say his name. And he refused to get the COVID shot and cannot go back to Australia to win another Australian Open. But again, their problem is gun laws and people not being vaccinated. That's how you know that this is all absolute 100% grabastic pieces of amphibian shit, man. That's all it is. We're in the twilight zone, and I love it. Let's see any other comments. It was a picture from the Miss Universe contest in Hawaii. Yeah, I agree. This is all theater. The kid was a drug addict. When your parents are sheeple, you follow the trends of being trans. Yeah, then you know what though? But was he a piece of shit in real life? I think that should be asked. Just because the guy died doesn't mean you can't ask these real questions. And we never ask these real questions when people go because we have some type of thing where, oh my God, all of a sudden you can't talk about this because it's so horrible. We have to all mourn collectively for a guy that we never even knew, who was killed by his own kid. I don't get it. Good riddance. Good riddance, he says. He got what he deserved for neglecting his kid. And he was a libtard on Archie Bunker, and it got worse from there. Again, you guys know how I feel about John McCain. You know how I feel about these people. I am not going to wax poetic after your death if I motherfucked you in your life. I'm not going to do it. And to me, I don't think it's fair to you, the person I'm motherfucking, to do that to you. I have to continue that legacy in your honor. I mean that. Let's see. Anything else? This one was great. Let's end with something fun. This was a old commercial. Did I play this already? I may have played it, but let's do it again.
That deal's really popular. Mr. Trump, here you go. 3 medium pizzas, $5 each.
Tell you what, I'll counter that offer with an even better one. Here's the deal. You give me those 3 pizzas, only I'll give you just $5 a piece.
Sure. Okay.
Still got it, Donald. Still got it.
I love it. I think I played that last week, but I don't care. It's still in there, and let's get it on. But hey, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope we could be caltrops, guys, and recognize when the media, recognize when you're being played, recognize when the outrage machine is trying to get you outraged, and it's on both sides, the left and the right. I do think the left is a little bit easier to be outraged because they stay in a perpetual state of outrage. But we have to look at this stuff, and we have to look at it, and we have to take it all in its entirety, because we take bits and pieces of stuff and we form emotional responses to these things, and it gets us to act not how we usually act, and not how we usually think, and not how we usually want ourselves to act. Right? Christians everywhere, I got to ask you a very honest question. Do you really want to hate Muslims? Is that really what your Christianity tells you to do? I mean, I'd like you guys to answer me that question if you're a Christian. And I think that goes for the regular Muslim, but I think their answer is yes, I do hate. Yes, I fucking hate everybody. You deserve to die. I think the Jews got to ask themselves that same question as well. And do or can any of us coexist, or is coexistence in this idea of a melting pot just one big, ridiculous fantasy? I don't know, man. I think it starts with being a caltrop and asking questions. Thank you guys very much. Really appreciate you. Listen, PT Pod, always check them out on Rumble. If you have not subscribed, check them out. Give them a like. PT Pod, Fresh Mike. He does a great job with all of his shows during the week. Check him out. We also have Tuesday nights, Wolves and Wise Men. That's our boys from Bearded. They were formerly from Bearded Viking Meat, actually. But that's our boys over there from Utah, the Martinez brothers. They do a great job. They just had a new co-host, so check them out. The show is it's about a bunch of different things. It's not just politics. They talk in a laid-back way. They go through a lot of different topics, and I really, really enjoy them. So check them out. They are tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you're up late, but if you're in their area and you're watching this from California, whatever it is, I believe they go on at 8 our time or 8 Central Time. I know it's 10 o'clock at night my time. That's about it. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard. If you want the breakdown, do the breakdown. Check it out. But thank you guys very much for joining me. This caltrop is out. Later.